is the Glass Cannon Network.
Welcome back to Voyagers of the Jump, Season 2. We got another season. Can you even believe it?
We got renewed.
Yes.
Got renewed.
Greenlit.
Greenlit. Woo, Project Greenlight. What's up?
Movie terms. Welcome back. Thank you all for joining us tonight, or for those of you listening in the future, thank you for joining us then too. I hope the world is not on fire at the time. Like 50% of the cast here has been through hellish, truly horrifying weather conditions to be here tonight. So I thank you for joining us. Seth, the world is basically on fire outside your window, and Alicia was present for the recent. What are we calling it? The hurricane?
Yeah, exactly. It was basically the apocalypse. We're sitting in the house going, okay, I guess this is life now.
I pitched moist quake. I thought it should be moist quake just because of the wetness.
Oh.
No one wanted to pick up on it.
No one asked for that.
I guess not. I think it works, but in any case, glad you're here.
Moist quiver. It's worse.
No. You don't have to. Moist quake.
Moist jiggle.
I like moist quake.
Moist jiggle. Nobody's taking this storm seriously.
Yeah, this
Why
is
did
all
we
I'm
call
saying.
it moist jiggle?
We really need to raise public awareness and concern. So we're going to do that by calling it moist jiggle.
Nobody liked it when we called it human names. We were trying something different.
This is exactly what happened with Barbie and Oppenheimer's. Like they picked a good name that like elevated in the public consciousness, and now everyone's seen one of those two movies.
Yes.
Yep.
I can't argue with that. No.
In any case, really glad that you're both here and alive.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're both okay. Well, I have another scintillating topic for us to kind of break the ice. To pull back the curtain a little bit, we had a little bit of a technical snag before we went on the air, so we've been chit chatting a bit already. But I have one. We'll have to see where this goes. I just wanted to know how you think you would all, fare in space. Not your characters, you personally. How do you think you would fare in space? Some of you are just shaking your heads.
Alicia's face.
My
The
expressions
more
can't hide.
I learn about space, the more I know that I would die. Because zero gravity is really hard for humans to wrap our heads around, of just how weird that is. Where certain body functions don't even work anymore. And vacuum is also so really hard for us to wrap our heads around, of how just weird vacuum is. So I'm pretty sure I would die immediately. I'd look out the window and that'd be it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think all those things you mentioned, also radiation, extreme cold, space wants to kill you. We have found ourselves in one of the very few places in the entire universe that doesn't want to kill us as badly as the rest of the universe. We should stay here and take care of it.
What's weird is space isn't cold, because space is nothing. And you're more likely to overheat because you don't have air to dissipate your heat. It's so weird. It just tries to kill you.
Yeah. You could burn or freeze depending on if you have a shadow to stand in or not.
Yes.
Yeah, which I'm not interested in doing either.
Alicia, you look truly disgusted by this conversation.
Yeah, and I'm trying so hard to have a neutral expression, because I know that people have brought up my expressions often during games. They're why does Alicia look disgusted during this game? But no, it's I have I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but I have 3 just truly great fears. Besides, mass murders or home invasions. It's like deep.
On top of the
On
regular.
top of those fears.
Those are guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean that's a
They go without saying.
It's like deep space, deep sea, or like the deep caves. And all three of those, there's something in there that my brain does not reconcile. So all three just scare me to death. So yeah, I would die because I would panic in like emergency situation. Like you have to leave the little station to go to the drop ship to get supplies or something. And I would, in between the station and the drop ship area, I would end up dying somehow, just clearly for no reason. I would see something like a bug on the windshield, like, it would be over.
That would be cause to panic if you saw a bug on the windshield.
I don't know if there's too many
space.
bugs out in space that get on your windshield.
That's what I'm saying.
That
If you
would
do
be
see
cause to
one,
panic.
you would lose your shit
Yeah,
for a good
if
reason.
one did visit, it would be quite terrifying.
Yeah.
It's got a little bubble helmet, little fly.
What the hell is going on?
They're tech level 12. These flies. What about you, Sadie?
Space wasps.
Space wasp.
God.
Now that's terrifying.
That would be horrible. You get to space and you're like, great, it's all wasps.
Yeah, there's just wasps everywhere now.
Ooh.
I
you
left
guys-
Earth. The one thing I would think the benefit would be no wasps.
What's with the wasps? Who brought that up?
Who brought the wasps?
Who brought wasps up here?
Just a jar
Wasp
of
is like-
loose
Elon!
wasps. I had such a different thought process when Matthew asked this question, and you guys all thought about it very scientifically. It was very smart. You were like, yeah, simply the act of survival in space is so difficult that you would die was the answer. But I was like, oh, I would get so sad. I would get so sad.
Hey,
That's
man.
something real too.
I used
Yeah.
to think when I was
David
younger.
Bowie prophesied it like he knew what was up.
He knew.
Yeah.
I used to think when I was younger, like early 20s, I very strongly had this thought a lot. I was like, I could just go to space. I don't care. It wouldn't affect me. I wouldn't miss people. I was angsty. That's right. I was in college reading Sylvia Plath. Ever heard of her? Anyway.
Noted astronaut Sylvia Plath.
Yeah.
But I had this thought. I was like, I could do it. I wouldn't mind being an astronaut in space for like a long period of time. And then I must have been like 27 and I was like, no, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I would be so sad. I would be so lonely. I would be so imagine not talking to anyone. Like I would just be so fucking bored and
There
sad.
could be other people up there with you.
Yeah, I'm going to get so tired of them.
Okay, so
I'm going to get sick and tired of them. You guys played Voyager with me. I was ready to shoot you all. No, I'm kidding. I just think like you would go crazy. Like if I wasn't depressed, I would like start to lose my mind.
So the space madness.
Yeah.
Space
I would
madness.
get space madness.
fall victim to space madness.
Or overheat or whatever you guys said.
Right.
There's also like the space osteoporosis that you got to worry about.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
Like because you're in
because
zero
of the
G.
whoa. Oh,
Yeah.
That they have the astronauts like do exercises though for
Yeah,
that,
you
right?
have
They
to be like working out constantly.
resistance bands and like
The
Yeah.
muscular atrophy. My favorite, my favorite space experiment is when the Kelly brothers were when they were the two. Like one was in space and one was kept on for an extended period of time, so they could just monitor how their bodies change because they're identical twins. It's like, what better control experiment would we have for this?
Yeah.
it's really
There was a weird one we were reading about recently where like after like 6 or 8 months or something, your brain actually develops these reservoirs for the fluid because you don't have gravity for it to go through anymore.
Oh,
And-
wow.
And so like it develops these like holes, but just become these reservoirs for the fluid. But then when you go back to gravity, they don't go away. It's just your brain permanently just kind of changes shape to deal with zero gravity. Once it gets back to gravity, it's like, I'm fine. We're just and like, oh, your head could swell. You know, so you're not only crazy and dying of vacuum and radiation, you've got this bobblehead. And, yeah, just,
You're not only dying of radiation, you also just look silly.
I mean,
So
you could
embarrassing.
at least freeze with dignity. And,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah,
Let-
I'm
let
with
people mourn my frozen corpse and admire it,
right. Not your encephalitis.
not my giant bubblehead. Did that answer your question, Matthew?
Yes, it did.
None of
Thank
us
you all.
would or could survive in space.
What an ideal group of dreamers to be playing this space adventure with.
Yeah.
No, right?
I love pretending. Pretending to be in space is awesome.
I always thought, like, when I was young, I was like, I could be an astronaut. And then I realized you have to be in like peak physical condition at minimum.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Also, aren't you like never allowed to smoke a cigarette in your life to be an astronaut? Like there's something that's like you're automatically discounted if you did such and such like once in your life. They're like, you won't cut it up in space.
I have never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Whoa,
you can do it.
Matthew.
I could go be an astronaut,
You
except
could-
for the peak physical condition thing. I could be an
could be an
astronaut right now.
I refuse to believe all the Apollo astronauts had never smoked a cigarette.
Yeah, that
because
seems
was
a little.
that was the 60s. You had to
that's
smoke
true.
cigarettes by
That's
law.
right. All the scientists. they also
I'm
know.
I'm
looking
sure
it up.
Gus Grissom has smoked at least a cigar.
At least.
They probably added that rule in the 80s.
Yeah.
Ah,
And everyone,
When you
when all
look
those
it up-
astronauts got soft.
we went to the moon on Marlboros alone.
That's right. You know what, though? I bet you John Glenn never did. That's the one guy that I bet never touched. His cigarette never touched his lips. Out of all of them.
I just was very randomly watching the scene from The Right Stuff when LBJ shows up at his house and his wife doesn't want to let him in, and he's on the phone and he's like, "You don't want to let him in. You don't have to let him in. I don't care." It's great. It's a great scene.
I love that movie. I really
It's a
love
great
that movie.
It was a big, weirdly, it was a big fave of my mom's, who is not like a particularly sci-fi or space nerd.
Really?
Yeah, but she just really liked the movie.
My grandmother loved that movie. She was a huge fan of that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Great Sam Shepard performance.
Yeah.
Um,
and really funny scenes with Jeff Goldblum and
Yes,
Harry Shearer, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Great movie.
Well, speaking of movies, I don't know. I didn't need a segue here. Last episode, you guys created characters. That happens in movies.
That's right.
Yes.
You see those
Yeah.
characters in movies?
Nailed it.
Characters are in movies.
Characters are in movies.
Good job, Matthew.
Thank you. Thank you all for your support. Well, let's talk about those characters. We had Pug, an anthropomorphic armadillo soldier played by Skid. Pug had seen action on worlds across charted space, but despite his combat prowess, he couldn't seem to get ahead in the army. I think after like 16 years, he hadn't been promoted beyond Lance Corporal. Am I right?
I don't think I ever got promoted. Did I get promoted to Lance Corporal at any
I
point?
feel like you made Lance Corporal, and it was a big cause for celebration.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I did. Yeah. And it's just 100% racism, imperial racism.
Imperial racism.
Yeah.
Well-known imperial racism. And then there's Swan Tenor, human scientist. She grew up this is played by Alicia. She grew up on a boring cul-de-sac and knew there was something out there, something up in the stars. But then she never ended up finishing college because she had to flee the draft. And then out in space, she worked as a salvager until she discovered an incredibly rare fossil, but was savagely attacked in an attempt to steal it from her. But she survived and began working as a kind of unaccredited researcher, and she achieved such renown that in addition to her scientific publishing, she also published a self-help book. But then she rejected the opportunity to steal someone else's research to get ahead and hit a professional wall that she could not find a way around. Yeah.
I did. I'm very
Sorry
proud of
about all that.
myself. I'm glad you recounted that because some of the things I was like, wait, I did?
You did. I tried to write these things down as soon as we finish the episode so I don't forget.
Swan is generally, she's very like myopic with her reasons for being at this ramshackle, I think you called it backwater. But she doesn't realize that, she made some enemies in her climb to the top with that foot.
The fossil of the
see.
foot. Yeah.
That's
Foot,
right.
sorry, yeah, the fossil
Foot.
the fossil foot, yeah.
Foot.
It proved the existence of a previously thought mythical race or species, and the foot proved that it really did exist, and that's how she came to fame and fortune, and that's why she has a ton of money on this ramshackle backwater.
You all have surprisingly, for all your misfortune, you do have a decent wallop.
Ew.
Yeah. We're all rich.
You're fairly rich.
No, Speak for yourselves.
Well, that does bring us to Arthur, a Vargar, played by Seth. Although, what's his actual name?
Vlazig Gruzian.
Yes.
Right.
So Arthur.
You can call me Arthur.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Hi,
Arthur grew
Arthur.
up hard scrabble and poor working construction, but he was able to get himself into college with dreams of doing field research until he discovered his psionic potential and flunked out of school and began training as a psionic adept. Adept.
Yeah,
Adept.
sonic scientist.
There we go.
There you go.
And as we all know, psionics are highly, highly illegal in Imperium space. But, you know, I'm sure it will be made better by the fact that you're a Vargar, and Imperial racism won't make that worse at all.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be great.
Sure, it'll be great. And finally, we have Willadine Faye Moxley, played by Sydney. Or should I say, Commander Willadine Faye Moxley.
Commander.
A simple country girl from an ocean world who didn't understand that the Navy operated in space these days. She tried to get into the Naval Academy but failed the entrance exam. But that didn't stop her from enlisting, and she quickly distinguished herself and earned a field commission and thus began a brilliant career in the Imperial Navy.
When I was figuring out the character backstory, just like writing it for myself, I completely forgot that as a player, I joined the Navy. And I thought it was
Where were our brains?
And
Master and
Matthew
Commander.
politely, because I was like, she's from a water world. Matthew politely reminded me that we're talking about the Imperial Navy of fucking space. And I was like, oh, but of course, that makes sense. But she did really well. I think we're all shocked at her success.
She was trained as a pilot, but was quickly promoted for all of her. You had a close call, I feel, with Scandal, but you managed to wiggle your way out of it and stay on the right side of your superiors. Yeah. And now, as we teased at the end of last episode, we are in the Great Rift, and specifically the Reft sector. Would any of you nerds like to tell us a little bit about the Great Rift, what you know of the Great Rift?
Nothing is past it?
Yeah. Well, basically, it's just a big wedge of charter space that there's nothing. It's kind of like the fingers of a galaxy. There's kind of that empty space. That's kind of what we're in, where there's like tons of stuff on one side, tons of stuff on the other, and then a gulf that's an entire sector or two wide that there's just nothing, and no ship could cross that really easily because it's just so big and so
That is
empty.
like, we're talking, like Alicia's talking about, like that fear of like emptiness and depth, and like this is like a terrifying concept. Like that is an inconceivable amount of empty space.
Yeah.
Like even just between the stars that seem close together on the map, they're light years apart, like something, that the brain can't really comprehend. But like this is just like, yeah, this is terrifying.
Yeah, let's go to a map. So we have a map of the Great Rift here. And you can see it's this kind of area of low stellar density. Throughout its existence, it's been a natural barrier to the expansion of the Imperium because it can't be crossed very easily, right? There are three specific routes, and let's talk about those. So you can see this; it's thought to resemble a lobster claw, the shape of the Great Rift. And so that's where the expression "behind the claw" comes from. So Deneb and the Spinward Marches, that little chunk of the Imperium that's to that's to Spinward of Imperium space. That's behind the claw, and everything else is said to be beneath the claw. Everything else in the Imperium. But it's just a reminder that for all the knowledge of those living in charted space that they've accumulated over the years, the Great Rift, in a lot of ways, it's still kind of full of mystery.
It's about 90 light years wide.
90 light years wide, yes.
Yeah,
Wait,
just counting
what?
hexes. Each hex is a parsec, which is like 3 point something light years. So it was 30 hexes wide.
Seth, if you would do me a favor and do the math on that. If a human, how long does it take to, I guess the question is, how long does it take to travel a light year in like human years?
In the Traveler universe with
Yeah.
jump drives, Oh, I mean,
It's funny you bring that up, Skid. So there are three known crossings of the Great Rift. And you can see two of them on this map here. So the first is the one that's all the way at the top of the map, or should we say, coreward. And you see this kind of thin trail of red Imperium space.
Yeah.
There's like the bulk of it to the right, and then there's this little chunk. That's the Spinward Marches into Neb. That's called the corridor. It's just a thin little stretch of where there's plenty of stars, and you can jump from star to star to star without too much trouble. That said, it's kind of the long way around, right? And it's controlled by the Imperium, so if you are not an Imperium member, that's kind of a tricky route for you. The other is called the Aslan Jump 5 route. So if you look, you see the Aslan Hierate down at the bottom map, or Rimward. I have my little, whenever we play Traveler and we look at a map, I have my little compass rose to remind myself what is coreward and what is spinward and what so you see the Aslan Hierate down Rimward, or at the bottom of the map, and there's this little dotted line connecting it to the smaller yellow chunks kind of in the middle of the map. So that is the Aslan Jump 5 route. It connects the bulk of the Aslan Hierate to the Aslan colonies. This crossing requires that you have a Jump 5 capable ship, which is, so the top level of technology in Traveler is a Jump 6 capable ship. So to even traverse this route, you need to have a very, very technologically advanced ship. But that said, both of those crossings, the corridor and the Jump 5 route, are very profitable and lucrative for their governments, because how else are you going to get ship stuff across the rift? But then there was a third crossing. It's called the Islands Crossing. And actually, we have another map we can go to here. It's called the Islands Crossing. So we look at that one. This one is basically, it's in the Reft sector, so it's right between the kind of bulk of the Imperium and the Spinward Marches. And you'll see here there's a bunch of kind of small independent planets, independent systems, that they have been able to string together colonies and worlds and populated worlds that can route you between the two areas of the Imperium. Much more direct, much faster. Tricky, though, for the Imperium, because they don't control any of these worlds. And, it's the most direct route if you want to go from kind of the capital systems to the frontier.
So you would just jump from each little island planet settlement, you would use them as your jump points. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of these planets are actually fairly populated. They're on the frontier, but they're in the rift, but they're not totally, abandoned. So you also have these stations, Riftspan Station and the Chandler Station, which allow you to do the Islands Crossing in a Jump 4 capable ship, or a ship that has enough fuel to make 2 consecutive Jump 2 transits in a row.
So Chandler Station and Riftspan Station, they're not orbiting stars. They're just sitting out there in the middle of space.
That's my understanding. Yeah, that's my understanding. And the Riftspan Station, I know they have a very, that both stations supplies are extremely expensive, because they know they can basically, rake you over the coals when you land there, because you don't have any other option to refuel or to resupply. And I also know they have it's
like a $5 Coke at an airport.
Exactly. Right. It is basically the traveler equivalent of an airport. So my favorite detail of the Islands Crossing, I don't know if you can see it on this map, but there's one of the worlds in there is a planet called Sturgeon's Law, which is my favorite. It's Theodore
world.
Yeah, what a world.
It's a hell world?
It's a hell world. It's got this fungus that eats all metal and plastics.
Wait, what?
So they live underwater.
What?
Oh,
wait,
wow.
where is this?
It's basically you can't. It's not named on this part of the map, but basically it's near Neubayern.
Oh boy. Okay, so avoid that one.
It's not on the route.
Wait, Seth, are you telling me if you were to jump to that planet and try to land on it, your ship would be eaten?
Yeah, when it was colonized, it looked all green, and they were all like, "Hell yeah!" And all they had were basically hollowed out asteroids that just flew there for a generation. And when they were coming there, they were fortunate that they messed up and they crashed in the one ocean on the entire planet, and it's underwater. And then like they kind of stuck their head out. They're like, "Oh no, this fungus would absolutely kill us. Thank God we're underwater." And so there's this little underwater colony that's just the rest of the planet is hell. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
This is what I love
planet?
about
What's the
Traveler,
name
by
of
the
the
way,
planet?
is you can go to one of these books and you can pull around the world and it has a whole story to it, and they've just been building on this universe for years and years and years.
For decades.
It's amazing.
Decades.
So cool.
Yeah, like I had this map, like the big Imperial map, the one that the online map is based on with that design and everything. I had that like hanging up on my bedroom wall, like when I was a kid for years and years. And I would just like stare at like all these systems and everything. And people have been sort of filling in like information about all this stuff like for literally decades.
That's one of the things I thought was really interesting about the map online is that you can pull it up and you can see everything, like you can scroll in and pull out. And if you click on any one of the areas, you get sent to the Traveler Wiki, and you can see what each area is known for, where it started, and what languages are spoken in that area, and like whether or not humans are allowed there.
Yeah, like the government, the atmosphere, gravity.
Yeah, you get your Universal World Profile, which we now all know how to read.
UWP. That's right.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
If you buy the Great Rift box set from Mongoose, I'll show you. I happen to have a copy right here. You get all of these physical maps, like these kind of fold out hex maps of the sectors, and I have a bunch of them. I started to lay them out all on my floor when Mira was at daycare one day. I just tried to like approximate the relative space between. I didn't have enough room in my apartment. Space is quite big, as I discovered.
It's huge.
All right, so let's talk about where you are. So if you pull up the Reft sector map, so this is actually one of the maps that comes with that box. You'll see this is one of the. It's great. You can see Sturgeon's Law on this map too. It's down in the islands. It's kind of right in the middle, but we don't worry about that now. So if you go second row down, and from the top of the map, and then third column over, you'll see a subsector that has one planet, one world on there.
Oh yes.
It's this one world called Undralen. So this sector, this is where you are. You're in this subsector. It's in the middle of nowhere. And if you kind of go rimward trailing from Undralen, you'll find the hex 2017. Kind of countdown. They're all numbered on this map. That is where the space station that you are on, this ramshackle, modular monstrosity, rinky-dink thing that you've all been living on for the past 4 years. That's where you are.
Wow, that's really lonely.
Yes.
We're like at least 5 hexes from anything else.
Yeah. So to give you some context, it would take a Jump 6 ship to get you to the nearest system. So the highest, the most advanced
the Millennium
jump technology.
Falcon.
Yeah,
you would need the Millennium Falcon to take you to anywhere.
Wait, we can't jump to any of those island clusters, right?
I mean, you could if you had a Jump 6 ship, which you do not.
Yeah.
So let me give you a little history of the space station that you're on in this particular hex in the middle of nowhere. So originally, about 50 years ago, this space station called XR 1453-L. It was constructed as one of a series of 3 stations by a corporation called Cogent Systems Inc. And the idea was they were going to start to build another crossing for the Rift for the Imperium, an Imperium-controlled crossing. But the first station, they were going to sell it to the Imperium. But the first station imploded before it even opened due to shoddy construction, and the third was never built. And then Cogent Systems went bankrupt because of the resulting lawsuits. So you were on the second station, which did survive and was built upon, and they fixed their technical issues. The station was purchased for pennies on the dollar, or pennies on the credit, by a mega corporation called Poltech, Poltech. And they converted it into a research station for comet activity in the area and also any interesting astronomical phenomena. And staffs have been rotated in and out for the past 40 years. And comet activity over the past 40 years has declined significantly to the point where basically, you guys have all been on this station for 4 years, and you've seen 6 comets total.
Wow.
It's been slow. Business has been slow out on XR 1453L. But on the plus side, after all these years, after 4 years of serving on the station, you are all about to get rotated and go home.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! But you might notice I'm being a little vague about what happened in those 4 years, and that is because we're each going to roll an extra term of character creation, so we find out.
Okay.
I know. Obviously, I'm playing a little bit fast and loose with the bending the rules of character creation here, but I wanted to have a little fun with it, and you guys are also entertaining to me when we do this. So just for personal selfish reasons, I was like, let's just do this. So the way we'll do this is you can continue your current careers, and we'll figure out a narrative reason why, or you could pick a new career. And if you don't qualify for that, you can just take the drifter career and the scavenger assignment as if you're just working kind of general maintenance staff on the station. We talked a little bit pre-show about what you were going to do, what term you were going to do. So why don't we go around, do a little extra character creation, and then I'll introduce you to the 5th member of your staff, who is an NPC that I rolled up. So would anyone like to go first?
I'll go first.
Great. So Skid, what were you going to do? What is Pug going to do? What career?
I think I'm going to stay in the army. This is an army assignment that I'm on.
Okay, like you're assigned for security, like the Poltech has arranged for army personnel. There's for a grunt to kind of keep the station not secure.
Yeah, just someone like a muscle, just the bouncer. Keep people in line.
So you're already in the army, so you don't have to qualify. So roll survival. Let's see what happens.
Okay, here I go. I can't do it. I have to come clean, Matthew.
Yes.
I misunderstood the assignment, and I did all of this earlier.
Skid.
I was going to pretend to go through it as if I was doing it for the first time live, but I can't bring myself to deceive you fine people out there.
That's okay, Skid.
That's what they say.
But I'll walk through it as if I was doing it, and then so I did survive. It's not hard. It's like I think it's an endurance like 6 or 5 plus, and I have a 12 endurance, so that was easy. I survived. And then I rolled on the. Then it's a life event? Is that the or not or the?
You gain an event.
Gain an event. So I got the advanced training event.
Okay.
So I took +1 to my melee unarmed.
Okay.
So
maybe
I
on
have,
the station you've just been training yourself.
I think he's just working out like he's in prison. Like he's just like lifting weights like constantly.
Oh my God.
And
he spars with everybody as they go through the hall, but we don't know when he's coming. He just punches us.
Yeah,
just like this armadillo just charges you as you're walking
like Kato and a Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Sparta, motherfucker.
So I did that, and then I rolled on the personal betterment track for the skill thing. And I rolled a 1 on that, and I got strength +1.
Oh, because you've been lifting.
Because I've been lifting. So I'm at maximum possible strength. I'm at 15 strength.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Which is
so you're the swollest armadillo that ever was.
Giant swole armadillo.
Swoldillo.
Swoldillo.
Yeah, Swoldillo. And watch for it on Sci-Fi Channel. And I did not get promoted again. I've only been promoted once over the course of my entire career, so I'm mustering out as a Lance Corporal.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. All right. That's where Pug ended up.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I was going to lie to everyone.
They're always like, okay, just final test. I want you to zip your own fly.
Push my elbows together.
Why do you think Pug took this assignment? Do you think he took it as like a Hail Mary for advancement, and then it didn't work? Or
I want to talk about this because I think it's like, have you ever known anyone who lived in Alaska?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
If you talk to anyone who lived in Alaska, everyone who is in Alaska living there, they have a specific reason they're in Alaska. Like no one is just, I just ended up here. My parents, like almost everyone says like there's a specific reason. And I'm not entirely sure like why he is here. Because given his career and everything, this is something I want to think about. I'm not sure. So
Great.
Maybe it'll come to you as we play. Like we'll find out.
Yeah, and if anyone has any ideas or anything, just
Right in.
Your text.
Right in.
Right in.
Yeah, call in.
Why the hell I'm here?
Right? Why am I here? Why am I here?
Why am I this armadillo here? Alicia, do you want to go next? Do you want to roll?
No, but I
swans?
will.
Okay. We can come back.
Okay, so I don't know. So as we know, Swan had a really sort of rough beginning until she found the foot, and she actually found the foot while she was working for a company that sent her and a bunch of other people on this dig. But part of the contract for that, she was a drifter. Part of the contract was that anything you find on the dig belongs to the company. Well, Swan found that foot and she knew what it was because her father was like a teacher or something. And so when she blew up with this finding and ended up making a lot of money and notoriety, that company put 2 and 2 together in the timeline, and they really feel like that, Swan stole something from them. So those are the enemies she just has sort of broiling underneath the surface. Her father was always there for her and supported her and went with her on the entire first leg of her Put Your Best Foot Forward book tour. When he passed away.
I have that in my notes. I saved that.
Amazing.
It was a very popular book tour. When her father passed away, she was cleaning out his house and she found some of his writings. And Swan was excited. She's like, oh my God, it looks like he was in the beginnings of writing a children's book called Smile While You Still Have Teeth or something like that. And then as she was reading.
Sounds like a threat, not a children's book.
Swan,
let me know what's good for you.
Were you close with your father, or did you fear him?
Always there for her.
Go on.
She realized as she was reading that this wasn't actually a children's book. There was something in there that she thinks her father wanted her to find out. When they were young on a vacation in Star's End, they lost Swan's mother. And by losing her, I mean they actually lost her. They were in the middle of a town square with a lot of people, and they were looking for souvenirs, and she got lost and they never found her again. So they kind of, it was just Swan and her father her whole life. She realized that in this book, the main character, in the writings, the main character had to leave her loved ones to do something really honorable. And Swan's mother's name was Honora. So she feels like there is something her father was trying. So in his writings, this area that this station is located in was written about multiple times. So she, with all of her money and whatever else she has, she got herself put on this particular station because she's looking for something. But, she has a background in science, xenobiology, and field research. So she's doing that while she's here. Asteroids, astrobiology, stuff like that. But in her downtime, she's searching. Maybe there's a clue as to what, maybe her father knew more about what happened to her mother than he was admitting.
So her search led her here, to this remote
in this remote
station.
area.
It's funny because this subsector that you're in is called Lost Way.
Oh.
What?
Wow.
Cool. I swear, it's right from the book. All right.
Maybe we'll see during this season why and what. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling on the scholar. She's going to stay a scholar. So to roll, I roll 2d6 plus.
Well, let's do your skills first. Let's do your skills and training. So do you want to get? You could do. So you can roll on the field researcher
Let's
table,
do that.
personal development, or service skills, or advanced education. I think.
Let's roll on service skills.
Great. This is 1d.
Okay, 4.
Medic. Okay, so you get medic 1.
Okay. Well, we'll take that.
All right, and now let's do survival. So for field researcher, it's going to be endurance 6 or higher.
Oh boy. Endurance. Am I looking at the wrong one? Yeah, I have an 8, so I can do.
So for an 8, it's +0. You just take the result of the die. So 2D. Let's see what happens.
Oh no. Okay.
Odds are you'll get it.
11.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Hey!
All right, let's do an event for you. So roll 2D again.
Okay. Oh boy. 9.
9. You make a breakthrough in your field. Gain dice modifier +2 to your next advancement roll.
Cool.
So maybe in your own research when you're out here, you discover something.
Cool.
Oh really? Okay, so I'm gonna have to think about this too because it's gonna have to go with her story. But she makes so she gained DM +2 to my next advancement roll, so I can roll on the advanced education.
So now you're going to roll advancement. So this will be an intellect 6+ roll. So
Okay.
and you get +2 to on top of whatever your intellect modifier already is.
Okay. Come on, dice. 9.
Nailed it. Okay.
Nailed
so
it.
now you get an extra skill roll.
Okay. Oh, with the dice. The dice.
Oh yeah, these are your swan dice. Swan dice. Swan dice.
8.
Oh, 1D for skills. So which?
Oh, 1D.
Pick a table
Sorry.
and then.
3.
Do you want personal development, advanced education, service skills, or field researcher?
Field researcher.
Okay, you get navigation 1.
Navigation 1. Let's
Yeah,
take that, 'cause
I don't think
have
anybody
that.
else
Let's
has
take it.
navigation.
Yeah.
No.
Take that.
And that's great. Like if you are like going out into the void to search for whatever it is you're searching for, that would be a
Yeah,
skill
she
that
doesn't
you
even
would.
know.
So
Yeah.
true.
All right,
that's
so
great.
seems like it's been a pretty productive, if lonely, 4 years for Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
let's-
she has something she's looking for because she, in her mind, she has succeeded beyond what she thought and plus, like, her father lived to see her go from a disgraced sort of bottom feeder scavenger to having, like, her name
Draft
in lights
dodger.
almost. Yeah, to being a draft dodger.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that.
And she almost got canceled for that. But she, came up from that and proved that she was, she was different and she grew. So this particular assignment has been interesting, especially with these 3 individuals.
yeah, this is very 5 because you haven't met my guy yet, but you're 5 very different people.
And it's weird too. It's
Right,
so
that's
interesting having a celebrity like in
Yeah.
this like tiny group in this like remote station.
Do you think you guys have read her book?
I
Either of her
said
books?
canonically when we created characters, because I wrote it down in my note, Willadine loves the book. Put your best foot forward. Book written by Swan Tenor.
Amazing.
I have a copy on board, and when we both arrived, I'm sure that Willadine was like, "Oh my god, oh my god,
I
4
love
years,
it.
oh my god."
Oh my god.
The audiobook, the actual book,
Yeah.
the notes.
Paperback
she's-
and
Actually,
hardcover.
she has the audiobook. She has the audiobook.
Yeah, I think Pug is a very slow reader, and it probably he might like after she joined, he might still after 3 years be working his way through it. Yeah,
Well, he's just lifting so much.
yeah, he's just like he's really just focused on physical perfection.
You see, the thing is, like, Swan, I feel like she's been chasing that foot her entire life. So maybe this new...
I forgot that. What's your best?
So
maybe,
good.
like, this,
All right. So
All right, yeah, okay.
let's move to Arthur. So Seth, what's been happening with Arthur these past 4 years? What career is he going to do?
Okay, so Arthur's been this is basically the psionic adept, a psionic scientist. So I figure he's actually been basically working at the Psionic Institute, which the Imperium has 2. So it's like with them, and he's finally leaving. And he can't put on his resume that he worked for a super secret's not supposed to exist institute. So he probably has his resume that he's been a chemistry professor at this junior college for the past several years as this like fabricated history, but the Imperium can make up whatever it wants, right? There's this junior college that literally only exists that every scion just happened to have graduated, right? So
Oh, I love that. It only
coming
exists
here.
on paper. This old junior college that doesn't even
funny.
exist. It's just everyone who
Oh
goes to
no! And he's got the little shirts with it on there. And,
He's got a hoodie.
Yeah, he's got the hoodie. I named it Norik. So in JC, that's where he went, and he's basically fleeing the Imperium because he really just wants to be like a legit scientist because he actually wasn't that great of a scion, but because the Imperium keeps track of their psiots, he's kind of like, I just want to go somewhere where they're not watching me. And I'm not immediately going to be suspected every time shady stuff happens because, there's a known scion there. So he just wants to be a scientist and do science stuff that doesn't then pretend he worked at a junior college afterwards.
So are you going to do the scholar career?
Yes, I would like to
Great.
qualify
All right.
with
So
my
which
junior college application.
do you do, scientist or field researcher?
I'm scientist.
Okay, great.
Okay, so this is my second career. So I've got a -1, and it's intellect, which I have a 12, so I have a +2. So
It's going to be
wait.
education.
Oh, that's survival. Wait, what's the qualify? Oh no, intellect.
Oh, yeah,
6
you're right.
plus.
No, it's intellect. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it's got a +1 total. Oh yeah, 11.
Congrats.
Congrats, Arthur. You're a scientist.
All right.
You know what? Now I'm worried that they actually, I did too good. They're like, I bet the Imperium freaking did this to me.
Nice, Junior.
They maneuvered
He
me into
questions all his
this.
accomplishments.
All right. Skills and training. Which table are you going to roll on?
Let me go ahead and just go with scientist.
Great.
5.
Electronics.
You have 3 chances on the scientist table to roll science, and you got electronics.
Well, I learned something I don't know.
One thing I didn't learn at my junior college.
I was going to say that's what the junior college was for.
Yeah, I already knew so much science. I wanted to.
I'm going to go ahead and put that 1 under computers.
Cool. Great.
Probably for cheating. You used your computer to cheat on your tests.
Okay.
So you learned the computer really well.
None of my accomplishments are legitimate.
All right, let's do survival. So this will be an education 4+ roll.
Okay, I have a +1 under education. Oh yeah, 9.
Okay. Great. So you survive, and let's do an event for you. See what happened on the station the past 4 years.
8.
You have the opportunity to cheat in some fashion,
I told you.
advancing your career
my
and
God.
research by stealing another's work, using an alien device, or taking a shortcut, and so forth. If you refuse, you gain nothing. If you accept, roll deception 8+ or admin 8+. If you succeed, you gain DM +2 to any one benefit roll and may increase any one skill by 1 level, but also gain an enemy. If you fail,
Wow.
gain an enemy and lose 1 benefit roll. Could you imagine if you tried to steal Swan's research?
Oh, my foot.
You used your psionic abilities.
Stand.
Or my foot.
Hands off my foot.
What are you going to do, Arthur?
Well, I have no deception, and I have admin 0. So this would just be a straight roll.
Straight admin
man.
roll.
Yeah.
Is that a -3 or is that?
No, if he has 0, he can do it. He's,
Oh, yeah,
he's
0.
trained,
Okay.
so he's...
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I
Yeah.
want to be a legit scientist. So I gain nothing.
But
But I
maybe
would
you
like to
saw
roll now
us.
to
You
know
saw
how
What's
it
us.
would
one
have
more
gone.
in this great tapestry of lies that you've woven for yourself?
I
That's what
should
I
have
said.
done it.
You could have stolen the foot.
It was at 11. That foot could have been mine. But no. Oh no. I basically like opened up a drawer. And I was like, "Oh, Swan, is this yours?"
You Vlasic. Wait.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Call me Arthur.
Don't call me by my name.
The dog's got your foot again.
You got it in your mouth.
Don't even think about my, don't think about
Get
my
that,
foot.
drop it, drop
Don't
it.
Look at my
Drop
foot.
it.
Don't
Drop it.
Drop it.
All right, let's do
Okay,
advancement. So this will be
Okay.
intellect 8+.
Okay, so I get a +2 on this. Oh, hell yes. Oh, yes. Boxcars.
Yeah, boxcars.
Well,
Awesome.
so if you roll, I think if you roll a 12 on advancement, you're not allowed to muster out. You have to continue this career by the rules. But let's see what happens.
Oh.
Oh,
So you're still a scientist. You'll never stop being a scientist, Arthur.
that's beautiful.
So you get another skill roll on a table, and you also get promoted, and you get science 1. So you can pick a science.
yeah. Awesome.
For getting to rank 1.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a great roll.
If we're here chasing comets, wouldn't that be like cosmology?
If
the
you want to go that
cosmos?
way, we could also say you kind of were like doing your own research if you wanted to choose a different specialty. Cosmology would be the study of the universe and its creation, which obviously a comet would play into. Astronomy would astronomical phenomena, celestial phenomena.
I'm going to go with or did you say astronomy would be it?
Astronomy would be the comets. Cosmology would be kind of like the origins of the universe.
Okay.
Either one would be.
Either one's cool.
would fit.
Okay.
And then
I'll take that.
you get another skill roll.
Whew. Wow.
Killing it.
Cleaning up on this term.
You were complaining pre-show that because you had gone as
no
a sign,
skills.
you have no skills.
I will attempt service skills this time.
Great.
3. Diplomat.
Diplomat.
I'm the only one that can talk to the armadillo. I'm representing the entire Vargar species here. Since you're like, you're a diplomat.
Arthur ate all of their algae cakes again. All right. Okay. This is turning out pretty well for you guys. And that leaves Commander Willadine Faye Moxley. Sydney, what career is Willadine going to do for her time on the station?
She's sticking with Navy. I think it makes the most sense. I also think the reason why she's on the station, similar to Skid, she was commissioned by, what was her name?
Poltec?
By them through the Navy. And this is like the last thing that she has to do before she can get her full retirement. At least that's what she was telling her sweetheart. But
before you went to the middle of the vast.
yeah, and maybe he's
Is she
wondering.
avoiding her sweetheart?
Well,
Yeah.
things were moving kind of fast, and maybe she's not ready.
This is just like Strange New Worlds.
Is it?
Yeah, there's something similar.
There's something similar that happened.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm writing a sci-fi novel? Very cool. This is awesome. I guess I'll just continue with my awesome storyline that I made up. Anyway,
Okay. Well, so
I created.
Maybe you're you're fairly highly ranked, so maybe you're actually put in charge of the station. Maybe they have Poltec is contracted with the Navy to have some a naval officer
Station
run
commander.
the station. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to be the highest ranking person here.
This is so cool.
I mean, already you could.
All right. So you were on I think you were on the flight career, the flight assignment, right?
Yes.
Let's just continue with that, so you don't have to change assignments. We'll
Yeah.
All right. So let's do skills.
Cool.
So pick a table and.
I'm gonna do. I never did personal development. I did a bunch of other skills. I think I'm gonna do personal development.
Great.
And I rolled a 1.
Strength
Strength.
+1.
Cool.
You get
So-
stronger.
That brings my strength up to an 11.
Man, you're
You're
tough.
pretty strong.
And is
All right.
11 still just a 1 + 1 modifier?
Yes.
Okay.
9 through 11,
That's-
I believe.
Yeah, one
Yes.
more would get you up to +2, I think.
Rats, almost at 2. Okay.
Almost. All right. Roll for survival. So for you, this would be Dex 7+.
Okay, I think I'm gonna get this. I do have a good dex, but
She's
you
calling
never
her
know.
shot. She's calling her shot, everybody.
I rolled a 7 plus my 2. That's a 9.
9.
Okay,
Awesome.
great. So you survive and you gain an event. So let's see what happens.
I love events.
Events are fun.
I'm rolling my 2D. Okay. A 7.
Life event. All right, roll again.
Oh, I also is it 2D still for life events?
2D still, yeah.
All right, hopefully it's something good. That is a 9.
Travel. You move to another world, gain DM +2 to your next qualification roll. So hey, for once this worked out for you. So next time you've served your time in the Navy and you get a great letter of recommendation, and maybe whenever you choose your next career.
That won't happen, but cool.
Maybe the travel is the travel out to the station. Yeah. Maybe that's what that is.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, you could go anywhere you want after you finish this.
You can write your own ticket.
Yeah, maybe they promised you like you'll get a promotion. Like
maybe
if you take this.
Maybe they said I would get captain.
Well, that's what you're going to roll for right now. So let's roll advancement to see if you make captain.
Do I get that +2 to this?
No, that's a qualification roll. So for your next career.
Oh, rats.
Oh, I thought it was oh, shoot.
Yeah, poopy on that, but maybe I'll get it anyway.
All right, so this is going to be an education 5+.
I rolled a 6, which is great because my education is 0.
Okay, all right, you are promoted to captain.
Wow, congratulations, Captain.
Captain Faye Moxley. Okay, so you get, what's your social standing right now?
That's a good question. A 1.
What's the actual value?
A 9.
Oh, okay. So it's the same thing. You either get social standing 10 or +1, whichever is higher. So either way, you go up to 10.
Cool.
And then you get an extra skill roll.
Okay. And I can choose any table for that?
You can choose personal development, pilot or flight, service skills, advanced education, or officer.
Yeah, let me do officer.
Officer.
Cool.
And that's a 5.
Admin. You get admin 1. Or if you already have admin, you go up to 2.
I get 2, which makes sense. I was just
it would have been awesome if you had got leadership.
You got a lot more paperwork.
I know.
Yeah,
I wish.
Leadership is So you guys can still roll it if you ever get into combat, which I'm sure you never get that.
I can't get over the fact that you two have been workout partners with you at the Dillo.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Oh my God,
Instead of adding weights, you just increase the gravity.
Yes.
That's right. Little tiny weights, and you're just like,
It's just a bar.
That's such a good idea. Oh, also, I have leadership 1, Skid.
oh, great.
I have
Okay,
it
that's
from something
awesome.
else.
That the benefits to that can be massive in combat. So
when we roll initiative in any combat, you can roll a free leadership check at the top of the combat, and the effect of your roll is the number of boons you can hand out to your allies.
Wow.
Boon is an extra D6 you roll, and you drop the lowest one.
That is cool.
yeah.
So you ran a tight station. So despite its rinky-dink backwater falling apart status, you were able to kind of keep it together.
Maybe she was used to it. She comes from a small family in a water world and didn't really know much about the big space and didn't know the naval was the space, thought that was the ships on the world that I'm from. So I've learned so much in these 34. Oh, now I'm older though.
Yeah, I was going to say, we all have to do one thing, which I think you are all above 34 years old, so you all have to roll on the aging table.
So now I'm 38.
You're going to roll 2D, and you subtract your number of terms from the roll.
Oh.
So I believe this is your 5th term.
It's my
all of
5th.
you? Yeah. So you -5, and you want low. You want low is good, or
high is good.
Actually. High is good.
I got a -1.
-1. Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
So you have to reduce 2 physical characteristics by 1.
Wait, like my strength, my dexterity, or
Strength, dex, or endurance.
Go with your
no,
the one that
You
won't
got
change
space
the modifier.
osteoporosis.
Yeah, but you can take drugs.
Yeah.
Just the number, not the modifier, right?
Just the number, yeah, but that could affect your modifier.
So go with one that won't affect the modifier.
Shit, I have to do 2 of those.
Yeah.
This sucks.
You can take drugs.
Is that part of it?
I want to take drugs.
Did anybody else get a negative number on your aging roll?
The aging roll is 2d6, right?
2d6 -5.
-5.
Minus what?
5.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
What'd you get?
A 5.
Oh,
So
you got
it's
a
0.
You got 0.
Yeah.
You're-
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
No,
that's one
reduce-
characteristic
reduce
by one.
characteristic.
One,
by
yeah. All right.
How'd the Dillo do, Skid?
I rolled really high.
Okay,
I
so
did not
Pug is good. How'd Arthur do?
I came to a 1.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. Awesome.
No effect. All right, and there's one more person.
Otherwise, I was about to use my chemistry to start making anti-aging drugs in the lab. It's like, yeah, but I can sell this to the... I'm going to break bad out here.
So there was one more person on this colony with you. Or this station with you.
Who is it?
He is a young man named Marley Krog. He's a human. He is the NPC that I rolled up because I decided for all NPCs in this season I was going to roll them character creation wise instead of just building their stat blocks. So I'll tell you a little bit about where he comes from. He grew up on a mining colony. There weren't a lot of people around, and everyone had to pitch in on everything. And he idolized the colony's doctor. Like, he would just idolize him. He tried to just show up and do whatever he could for this guy. And he decided to try and go to college, except he failed the entrance exam. So he just stayed on the colony and decided to work as a colonist. Except his event was a disaster, literally a disaster on the mishap. And he ran to the mishap table, and he was harassed, and his life was ruined by a criminal gang. So he gained the gang as an enemy and had to flee. So
Oh, wow.
So he basically said goodbye to the only place he'd ever known and went out and tried to get into college again. And this time. He was with the motivation of the gang who wanted to kill him, he was able to pass the entrance exam, and even with the -1, and he got to go to school. However, while he was there, he rubbed his tutor the wrong way, and had to work hard to overturn the tutor's assumptions about him, and he rolled a natural 12, and so he gained medic 2. So he jumped up to medic 2 and was. He was on his way to becoming a doctor, but he gained the tutor as a rival, and the tutor eventually sabotaged him because he failed to graduate college.
Wow.
So this guy is really smart and should be a doctor, but he has a punching face.
He has a resting punching face. Yeah, he has an intellect of 11 and an education of 10. So yeah, he's gonna try to qualify for the worker career the citizen career with the worker assignment. So let's see.
So he's just going to show up as our janitor?
Oh, wait a minute.
He's going to be the janitor.
It's like Goodwill Hunting. He's got all the secret skills.
Yeah, and then as soon as someone gets hurt, he's like, I'm a doctor. We're like, you are the janitor.
Yeah. So he's going to throw down his mop and set a splint.
He pulls off his janitor smock, and there's actually the white lab coat underneath.
Pens in the pocket. He's ready to go.
Okay,
stethoscope around the neck.
He rolled on personal development and got a 1, so he's going to get a +1 to education.
Good.
Nice.
Okay.
He's kind of like Charles Dance's character in Alien 3, who's he lost his sort of license for different reasons, but it's at this remote station, a non-doctor who's actually pretty good.
Yeah, okay, let's see how he does on survival. So this will be endurance 4+. He has only got a 7 in endurance, so we'll see what happens. Okay, and he gets it with a 10.
Awesome.
So let's see what he's been up to. You rise to a position of power in your colony or corporation, you are automatically promoted.
Wow.
To what?
So maybe, I actually know how we'll deal with this, but this hasn't happened yet. But he advances. And let's see what he gets on skills. He's going to get Jack of all trades. Oh, he already got Jack of all trades 0.
Junior janitor to senior janitor. There's only one janitor.
So he's Jack of all trades 1, which is going to be huge. He'll be a great resource for you guys.
That's huge.
And let's see if he gets anything. Nothing from the promotion.
That's the best, perfect skill for an NPC.
Exactly.
Jack OT.
Okay, yeah. So he's Jack of all trades, and I'm just going to save this file. Okay. All right. Okay. So those are the folks that are on the station. All of you plus my guy Marley Krog. It's been a crazy 4 years, but you're about to rotate out and go home. We'll have to find out what happens after this break.
Saint Michael brings out his holy sword, places his heel upon the neck of the serpent. For now, the hour is struck, the trumpet has been sounded, the dead shall walk again. The serpent comes, but upon all of them he shall place the mark of the beast.
Okay, and we're back. I forgot to mention one key fact, which is that this station, which has a name, you don't refer to it as XR 1453-L. In everyday conversation, it's got a kind of colloquial name that's been passed down. It's called the Bucket.
The Bucket.
Bucket. Sounds luxurious.
Aptly named.
Aptly named. Okay, so when we find you all, let's get into this. It is your final night, your final scheduled night on the Bucket. You've been here for 4 years, and the way it worked when you were a new crew is the new crew is scheduled to arrive in the morning, and you'll spend a few days. So it's not really technically your last night. You'll spend a couple of days overlapping while they take over the responsibilities. You show them the ropes, and then.
So it's just the five of us on this whole station.
Just the five of us on this whole station.
Wow.
We are sick of each other.
Yeah, you really
this
are.
is like Sydney's nightmare scenario.
It was funny when you were saying that. I was like, boy, you would hate this story.
Well, it depends on the people that you're with. I mean, I'm sure we all get along really well, and nothing bad is ever going to happen to us.
I mean, it could have gone really disastrously. Yeah, so I should tell you your station resources. You've got a computer, you've got computer systems, you've got sensors, a thrust one capable launch. It's old. It's the most. It would be a risk to put your life in the hands of that launch. But the idea is if you ever had to go out to go investigate a comet or something. There's a science lab, a med bay, a light weapons locker, and of course the algae beds on which you've been eating for the past 4 years. That and of course the standard issue pudding dispensers that are in our
vats.
Yeah, the pudding vats.
Oh my God!
Forgot about the pudding.
I forgot about the pudding.
Sydney, are you eating pudding right now?
I wish. This is just Earth ice cream. Ugh.
I thought
What? What are you eating?
Ice cream.
Regular old Earth ice cream.
Oh, Earth ice. Oh.
I wish I was having space pudding.
Okay. Well, what are you all doing? It's the night before. Where are you? What are you guys doing?
Eating space
Are we,
pudding.
Are we just sitting around, I guess, for our last meal together, like alien, just sitting around, looking at each other, I guess this is it. What do you guys have planned next from here? Oh wow, we're
So
you guys are really done with each other.
So Matthew, I did
She
really
asks
good
this
on my
every night.
promotion. Am I leaving, or did I get told that I'm going to be stuck here again?
Well, you'll receive your instructions presumably from the new crew. They hand off their you'll get where the way it works when you rotated on is you were handed a data pad that had you authenticated and decrypted, and then it had your instructions for were the instructions for the previous crew.
Oh, okay.
So you could be going home. You could be going on to the next job.
I'm going to do a vacation.
Oh.
I'm going to go to a planet with grass and trees, and I'm going to eat nut pudding.
Man.
I recommend Star's End if you really just want to lose yourself there. Star's End.
Willadine is very used to eating algae cakes. It was also a very popular food on her planet. They ate a lot of sea algae, sea cucumber, a lot of fish. It was A lot of plants, though. And she secretly brought this spice that comes from like a coral on her home planet. And she was saving it for your last night. And it's like a shave. You like shave the coral down and you crush it up and it becomes almost like cayenne pepper or something. And she spices up the algae cakes. Well, I didn't know if I would ever use this. I thought 4 years would never end. But I feel lucky to have been in charge of this station. And the 4, sorry, Marley, you're so quiet. 4 of y'all.
All right.
Well,
What does he sound like? What does Marley
Marley's like
sound like?
emptying the trash. Like, well,
Yeah, Marley is like he's like
Come
cleaning
sit.
up. He's cleaning up for dinner, cleaning up the dishes while you're giving your speech.
Marley, put the dishes down.
Oh, sorry.
It's not an order. Just put the dishes down.
No,
Come
no,
over.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have... That boy. Well, anyway, enjoy. It's a little spicy. Hopefully your stomachs can handle it after we've had this bland algae cakes for this long. But I just wanted to say thank y'all. It's been a pleasure.
Can I say
it's been a pleasure
something?
being at your service. What was that, Marley?
I just wanted to echo. It's been like a gift getting to spend these past 4 years with you all, and thank you. Okay, I'll go back to cleaning up.
Marley, you can stay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you've made the best breakfasts, luncheons, and dinners for the past 4 years.
It's just algae cakes and pudding.
It was an acquired taste, but I've grown to fall in love. I mean, at first they had a really fishy sort of flavor, but
Sorry.
it's grown on me. It's grown on me. Thank you. All of a sudden, you guys hear this noise, and you guys know it's the chirper that Swan has on in the station base, because when she was out on one of her recreational just sort of missions, she came across a weird creature that was, I guess, indigenous to this area. And it was a baby, but she didn't know what it was. It seemed like it was by itself, so she brought it back to the
Are you
station.
referring to this?
And now it's a little bit.
Oh,
They're like a
My-
sentient.
Yes.
They're a sentient species. They're like
Yeah, they're like,
should be like stealing
It's a baby
someone's
who doesn't
child.
know.
Kidnapped a child.
it's a baby.
it's just like, oh, I found this
abducted a child.
Bulgarian and I'm raising him in a nest. Like,
It was in a crib.
Maybe not a chirper then. Maybe like some sort of like creature.
Small creature.
How big is it? I thought it was like a meter, right? No, half a meter is a baby.
It's
As a ba-
sentient.
It's
it is, you're kidnapping, basically.
He was kidnapped.
So I discovered someone's kid, basically.
Yeah,
This is my
you-
great discovery.
An unaccompanied minor. You kidnapped an unaccompanied minor and took him into the most remote space station for 4 years.
Okay,
You're
do
gonna
with
be a
him, you
hero when you
guys.
show back up having rescued it.
It's got to be something different because the captain would not allow that to happen.
Yeah. And this is like, chirpers are back. They're in the original, like, old, like the GDW version of the game. Like, this is something that goes back to the roots of Traveler, these creatures. So
Whoa.
Let's say you find some sort of creature that's not sentient, that won't grow up to be a humanoid.
a guinea pig?
Do you want to name it Chirper?
Oh, you know what?
Non-human. All right, I'll try to find something else. But there is basically what she discovered was an undiscovered like little species of some sort. I will find one that fits and doesn't can't talk back and all that stuff.
Yes. Won't talk back.
Whose
I don't want a
parents
pet.
don't call the police when they don't
wanna
show
bet
up for
that
4
talks
days.
back.
All right, we'll find a species for you.
Parents won't call the police.
Oh my god. That is wonderful.
Okay, so yeah, so
Never a dull moment on this ship.
exactly. All right, so you have this last dinner. Willa Dean spices it up a little bit, and you all head off to bed, and then you're packing your stuff, I imagine. And then the next morning, I think all of you kind of sipping your coffee and eating your breakfast pudding. You kind of meander your way to the control room, and you're kind of like, you didn't all expect to see each other there, but everyone's there to kind of wait for the. There's nothing to do. It's like when you've turned in your notice at your job, and like you're like,
we got senioritis. We've all got senioritis.
The longest 2 weeks.
I always like, this is the best 2
Short,
weeks,
man.
Imaginable, because I get more notice in 2 weeks when I quit the jobs I've quit, but it's always like, oh well, someone else has to learn how to do my job, so at this point I'm just like backing them up and hanging out and getting paid. It's great. And everyone's like, oh, we'll miss you, and you're like, sure you will, but that's nice of you to say. Okay, yeah, and so you're sitting in the control room and you're all watching the LiDAR, kind of making awkward chit chat. Nothing
awkward at this point. At this point, we're like,
Well, an hour goes by. Another hour. Another hour.
They're late.
What time are they supposed to arrive?
They were supposed to arrive.
Jump isn't exact.
3.
What time is it now?
Oh, that's a good point, Arthur. That's a good point. Jump isn't exact. Okay.
Well, I mean, they would have. We should just wait.
Yeah, so you all go about your business. Dawdle. Pump some iron, I guess, for those of you. Yeah.
I'm taking care of my little hopping lizard, Buzz.
Is that mine?
Does everybody have a
Do
pet?
we all
No, I have my
fucking
own
pets?
Stay out of my room.
I think
I have a salamander I talk to. Well, it's sort of like a salamander.
Arthur has a salamander. You
gotta have a pet. You're here this long.
you all basically brought pets. See, I sent you all some questions to ask, and basically all of you had secret pets.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a pet. I didn't get the memo.
They're secret.
Well,
You'll never find out.
The commander is the only one without a pet.
I think the captain finds out you all have pets at this very moment.
Oh.
Did all of you bring an animal onto the station?
Well, yeah.
What do you mean? Can you define bring?
Why didn't you tell me sooner? They're so cute.
All right. So
She's a fun captain.
She's a fun captain.
She's a fun captain.
Well, commander.
Commander. Sorry.
You spend the day playing with the equivalent of space puppies and lizards, but dinner time rolls around. Still no ship. Eat your algae cakes. Go to bed. Eventually, none of you can sleep. You wake up the next morning. Basically, let's fast forward. It's a full 8 days before you're Who do you think is in the control room? You think it's after 8 days? You think it's what are you starting to think? You think
they
you're
forgot?
No.
Does anyone else have sensors, or is it just Arthur?
I don't. I think you're the only one that has it.
Arthur's probably at the control room, and he is probably checking that sensor monitor. Weirdly, he'll be like, refresh. It doesn't have a refresh button. You just made a button that says refresh.
Yeah. Just it makes me feel better.
give me an electronic sensors roll.
Oh.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay. So on day 8, at this point, you've all basically, maybe you're all starting to, you don't really want to, you're worried that you've been forgotten, but you know that there's some variability in jumps, but 8 days is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a whole jump cycle.
It's a whole jump cycle.
Yeah.
But Arthur is sitting there. He's refusing to give up hope. He hits the refresh button, and yes, you see a new contact on LiDAR.
Oh.
Though, oddly, it does not have a transponder code associated with Poltech.
Well, he is still going to get on the intercom, like Janine from Ghostbusters. We got one!
We got one! Hit the refresh button.
I spin around in my chair because I'm in the room.
With somebody else's pet in your arms.
All the pets. Do you all make your way to the control room?
Yes.
I think Swan's probably already in there because she is calm, so she just sort of.
We all are like, what?
Swan spins her chair around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to Check it out with sensors.
Hail him.
Well, Swan's hailer. I'm checker.
All right,
I'm the hailer.
check him.
Okay.
Check him and then get ready to hail. And then what are you doing, Pug?
right.
Pug is like, he's coming from his quarters. He's just like, he moves like pretty ponderously. He's just like, tom. He's just like, I'm coming.
All right, well,
Just
all right.
making his way through
Just
the station.
Keep coming.
I'm
All
hustling.
right.
Hustle.
So
Marley, where are you?
Bigger.
Marley spins around in his chair and he's like, "Hi, I've been here the whole time."
He can't get to the door
Marley.
because his
He's a
lats are so
creepy
big.
kid.
sorry. I just thought we were waiting. I thought everyone was waiting here. I just didn't want to be apart from the group.
Creepy.
Okay. Yeah. So if you scan, you scan, you see it's a freighter. So we'll go to an image of a reach freighter. So a reach freighter is a cheap, easily maintained ship built from commercial off-the-shelf parts, COS, and it is a big, ugly, lumbering thing. And this particular,
How many tons?
I will tell you that when I pull up the particular book under which
I can count 8 turrets, so it's at least 800.
Yeah,
so-
that's a big ship.
This
That's like
parti-
less than a capital ship. But
it is a big ship. This particular reach freighter does not have the turrets. They did not spring for the turrets. I'll find it in just a minute what its actual measurement is. So
It's the LX model, not the EX.
yeah, exactly. This thing is ugly. Like it's there's a whole extra modular cargo container, like the one that's on the side here, on top, like wedged on top, welded on. Maybe it's not particularly, aerodynamically welded on. And there are these kind of almost at random affixed to the hull. There are these like fuel containers stuck on like barnacles on a whale. It is.
Oh, wow.
This seems like if this were to, it would not win any beauty contest. The bucket
But
is
this
not.
is like an ultra long range. It's built for like ultra long range with all the like extra fuel and stuff. Maybe.
that would be a reasonable assumption. Yeah.
I thought it was just full of pudding to replenish the vats. We are out.
That's 3 years. After 3 years, like
We've been
a lot
out of
of pudding.
spatulas getting the last of it out of the tanks.
A reach freighter is it would be 4,000 tons in its unmodified form.
Oh wow, that's a big ship.
Yeah.
It's ugly. You said it's a
really
big
big
ugly
ship.
ship.
Oh yeah, it's ugly.
If this is our trip out of here, it's the most beautiful ship.
That's
Oh yeah.
true.
I mean, I'm sure it looks gorgeous.
8
to us.
days late, I'm sure you're all like, do you want to hail them?
Yes.
Before we hail them, in
What?
my experience in, the Naval Academy, what kind of ship would this be? Like, I understand it's used for like, a lot of different stuff, but does anything stick out to me where I would be trepidatious about hailing them? Like no numbers on the side, like nothing, like something strange.
The thing that's strange is that you would expect it to be on a Poltec Jump 6 ship that they specifically have for this purpose, and this seems to have an independent transponder code.
Okay. Hail them.
Hail.
All right. This is Dr. Lieutenant Swan Tenor at XR 1415-L, the bucket. And we've been waiting for you for 8 days. Are you here to retrieve us and bring us to our next location, or basically back home? Send tweet.
That's our sign off. No, that is the
Send
bucket
tweet.
sign off.
Yeah.
Send tweet.
Yep.
That doesn't exist anymore. It's archaic at this point. So
We're about to find out. Like, oh, it's gone? Dang.
wait,
They call it what now? What do they
what
call
now?
it?
who owns it? Fuck. No.
Oh, why?
Ruining
Matthew,
it.
I'd like to do a just basically a sensor scan of it. I just want to know more about it.
Great. Give me a sensors check.
Hold on. Oh no, it's still a 10. Okay. I was like 7. Oh no, 10.
Yeah. Okay. So what you can see, this ship has no weapons. As you can see in the image, there's quite a few hard points, but this one has no weapons. It's got that extra vessel. The jump drive signature you're reading from this is not jump 6. It seems significantly less than that. And if you were to, let's see, with an 11, I'll say, you don't detect any kind of strange cargo or anything like that. Everything's nothing out of the ordinary. In terms of life forms, there are, let me just count because I can't remember how many people. 4. There are 4 life forms on there. Which would strike you as strange because a ship this big usually would need to be crewed by
dozens.
Yeah, a lot more than 4.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Would do life detectors detect anybody that's maybe in cold sleep?
You don't detect anybody in cold sleep.
Okay.
Do they respond back to the hail?
In fact, someone does. A voice crackles through and. Station XR 1453L. Sorry we were delayed. This is the Warbler. How are things out here beyond God's back?
I love this man. I want to know everything about this captain.
Yeah, please tell us your deal.
Ask them. Why am I doing Australian? That man made me.
Yeah.
That man made me change my accent with his grovelly,
weird things.
beautiful
it's space
voice.
Madness. It's the late stage space madness.
Ask him why he's.
I'm gonna actually patch you through to our ship's captain. She's gonna gesture to Captain Willadine and say, they're responding back. They said they're the Warbler.
Warbler? Would I know the Warbler? Is that a thing I know? No.
It's a tiny bird.
Oh,
on
thank you.
Earth.
Yeah, thanks.
I hit it back.
Your knowledge check.
This is a Commander Moxley of the XR 1453L. What was your delay, and how many people do you have aboard?
Four souls aboard, including me. Sorry for the delay again. We're not a Jump 6 technological. You can see. I'm sure you can see out your window. We're not exactly the prettiest ship in the fleet, but we'll get you there. We are your
You're beautiful
ride,
to me.
I contact again. They're being honest about how. I was curious if he would lie about how many people were on the ship.
Why would I lie?
I'm not. The communication was closed when I did that.
A little lift sign lights up in the front window. Warrior ride.
How many people are aboard your ship?
This is a man.
We already knew.
This is a man driving up in a beat up van and offering us candy, and we're desperate for candy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like when Skid and I were stuck in a parking lot of a mall outside Milwaukee at like midnight after seeing that movie.
What movie was it? What
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, such a
Because
good
there was no Uber.
No, well,
Did the
there was.
van
It just
drive
took
up
them
and
like,
offer you guys candy?
It took them forever.
A
They were
minivan
nowhere at all, never at all.
and it took them like 30 minutes to get there, and we were just standing there, and then this person drove up, and it was like this guy named Jason or something was on Lyft, and then somebody else drove up in the car and like, oh, I'm Jason's girlfriend. I'm doing this ride for him tonight, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, it was super sketchy, but it was so late.
Just put these bags on your head. It'll be a quick trip.
The comms crackle, and it's like, we've come a very long way, and might we dock? I'm transmitting my docking authorization now. And code comes through. You run it through the system. It's authentic.
I turn to the crew. We'll let him dock, but something's strange, and if there's only 4 people aboard, that's not even enough to man this station. I have a feeling there's just more. There's more to be told. Perhaps something bad happened on their way here. But we should let them dock and figure it out face to face.
Wait a minute. Do you think there's funny business, Commander?
No, I don't necessarily think there's any funny business, Pug. I'm simply questioning the choices made by Poltech in this situation to send an unmarked ship, completely unmanned. It does seem out of the ordinary, and it calls for some precautions. I will have my Gauss pistol, my Gauss rifle, my laser rifle, my katana, and most other weapons at the ready.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Oh Okay.
And I wouldn't leave yours unsupervised when we invite them.
Yeah, I'll
Captain.
be right back. Boom, boom, boom. And he's going to go back to his quarters and get armed
I
up.
told you to keep
You're
it on
meeting
your...
with an arsenal and a sword. I was gonna have a salamander in a bag and a suitcase.
Arthur, that's your prerogative. My job is to keep y'all safe, and we'll be ready to go. We'll be getting off this station, I'm sure of it.
Okay. All right. So Pug goes back to his quarters to get armored up. Willadine brings her arsenal to the airlock, and all of you all. Marley,
I don't have
maybe
it
Marley is like
on
carrying
me.
your guns for you behind you. He's like he's got his bag, his duffel bag on his shoulders, but he's carrying your guns for you. And you wait at the airlock. And Pug comes back. What are you carrying, Pug? Are you?
Pug is in tech level 11 hazard
Oh my
back
gosh.
suit.
Oh my gosh.
And he has a super modded shotgun like slung on his hip and a gigantic full machine gun that he has like slung over his back with a backpack magazine mount.
Love it.
All right.
You got the minigun from Predator?
Yeah. I always loved that movie.
The ancient Terran Hall film Predators.
I ain't got time to bleed and so on.
All right, so you're all waiting at the airlock. Yeah, you hit the button. Willadine hits the button. Airlock hisses open, and you guys are looking like you're about to board their ship and take it over. But 4 figures are standing there before you. See a human male in his 50s with grizzled salt and pepper hair, slicked back, stubble over his face. You see another human male in his late 20s with shortly cropped blonde hair, kind of a crew cut, and a thick, rangy beard down, like all the way down to his clavicle. A short, bipedal lizard-like figure in a caftan with a coppery orange pattern across her skin.
Is it a droid?
Would any of you like to roll education or social to identify?
I would love to roll education.
I can roll education.
Go ahead.
Ew.
8.
7.
9.
Okay. So, Swan, you recognize this figure as a Bwap.
Spell that?
Oh,
Blast?
Wap.
Oh, WAP.
Wow.
Oh.
Wap.
So we can put up an image of some Bwap on the screen here.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Salamanders.
Yeah. So with with an 11 education, you know that the Bwap are a lizard-like race. They are
Sentient?
They're sentient. Yeah. Oh, very sentient. Yes. Yes. Don't.
You can't take it back to your room
Can't
and put
take
it
it
in
back to your room.
an aquarium.
I returned the child.
You know that they prefer very muggy, humid climates. Like they don't do well in kind of arid destinations. In fact, even on spacecraft, they usually keep things, extremely
Moist.
humid. You also know that. Well, give me a social standing roll, Swan.
Me? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I have a 0 in social, so I don't know what to tell you. I may just spit at them. Who knows? Oh, not too bad. 11.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
So with that roll, you know that the Bwaps are compulsive organizers, and those who are unfamiliar with Bwaps can find their attempts to bring order to the universe a bit tedious. Mechanically, all interactions with Bwaps take additional time. You move them up a scale on the timetable, and it also makes them excellent business folk, generally speaking.
Swan tells the rest of the crew all this information, and she definitely looks to see if Marley finished cleaning the kitchen because she knew that the Bwaps like things tediously clean, and she noted that Marley did do a good job.
You also know that there's a very extremely complicated, lengthy greeting ritual the Bwaps do with each other, and maybe you even know some of it. I will let you, if you wish to try that greeting, I'll let you roll for it.
Oh, a greeting?
Yeah. It's Byzantine. It involves like an acknowledgement of their color patterning, and their it's highly formalized. But if you want to try to roll for it, you can roll social standing.
I do. Only
Okay.
because I do have a
Wrap 'em up.
language. What'd you say?
Whap them up. Whap them up.
Whap. They speak whapping.
Oh my god.
Swan does have a language. She's language 1. Can I use it?
Give me. Let's do social. Oh, you know what? I'll let you roll language, but use your social standing modifier.
Got it. Oh yeah. Okay. 8.
Okay. You do not. You step forward and you begin the greeting, and you try to do it in the Blap language, but you're not quite. You didn't quite get it. But the Blap lowers her lizard head in a nod and says, "Thank you for trying to communicate and in the Blap greeting ritual. I appreciate the effort."
What did she really say to them?
You got the order wrong. You didn't do the correct steps. Oh, and there's one other figure, by the way. I'll continue this role play. There is in a ratty and stained coverall, a Vargar female. Probably in her 30s. And you see peeking out from beneath the coverall, her skin is heavily tattooed. She's also looking quite tired. But the Blap steps forward and is like, "Oh, so good to meet you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Trey Nethweb Trano Kakawa of the Neo-Beskabab clan. You can call me Trey."
Trey.
And then the older man steps forward and says, "Yes, thank you, Trey. My name is Captain Hiram Jax. It's lovely to meet you all. What in the hell are you doing out here?"
You should already know what we're doing out here.
Yeah, I think we could ask the same question of you.
We're just boat haulers. We picked up this contract. Sometimes we pick up passengers as a way to, supplement our income on a journey. We got this one from Poltec. Came in kind of last minute, and our ship's only jumped 3, so we had to make it work. We do the islands crossing mostly, but we went out of our way to get you all, and I hope this will suffice. And he pulls out a data pad. And
I will take a look at that, and I hand it to Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I need to do anything?
You turn it on.
Put my finger.
You have computers, right?
Face recognition.
I break it in half. Well, guess we'll never know.
Push the button.
Oh. My dear compatriot Arthur will do this for me. Guys, Commander Moxley has a really hard time reading. And it's not a joke. She has dyslexia and learning disabilities, and she has a really hard time reading. And she made it through school. She understands the words she needs to know, but when it comes to new things, she gets very flustered, and it can't public speak, can't read in public, very, very difficult time with reading. So she has you guys read a lot for her.
Okay.
The
but
perfect captain.
Yeah. She's got really good leadership, though, and she's beloved for her honesty and her faithfulness to her crews.
That's great. I appreciate her being honest with us. Yeah, we probably all
know.
Yeah, we
know
all
this. Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Okay, so you have computers, Arthur. So you know there's a standard Poltec decryption process, and you decrypt a message, and it tells you. I'll read it to you. It says, "This will be the Bucket's final mission. No replacement crew will be sent. Your orders are to remove data cores and destroy Station XR-1453 and all its contents. Deliver the data cores to Corporate HQ-17, where you'll receive debriefing and reassignment. Travel expenses will be dispersed from this data pad. Authenticate this message using Protocol 1873-4.
So by destroy, actually destroy, are we just remove the data cores? Are we leaving it pressurized? Or are we detonating it?
They want it disintegrated in some fashion.
That's really weird, though.
You use the protocol, the Poltec protocol, to authenticate, and it does authenticate. And then a screen pops up and asks for it asks you there's a finger, or I guess a paw print scanner for you, but there's a little scanner, and it pops up with your name. It disperses you 2,000 credits. informs you of your promotion. You advanced, right, Arthur?
Yeah.
It informs you of your promotion, congratulates you, and then it asks for Dr. Swan Tenor.
Yes.
So you put your finger on there. You also disperse 2,000 credits to your cred stick, and informs you of your promotion. And offers its congratulations. Then pops up Pug, and you press your armadillo hand to the scanner. It informs you.
I like my nose. Like I have to press my nose to it. Nose print.
You also get 2,000 credits. You are not promoted.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for rubbing my nose in it, literally.
Oh.
And then it asks for Willadine Faye Moxley. You press your finger. You get 2,000 credits, and it informs you of your promotion to captain. And
She
Marley
can read that word. She knows that word.
Hey,
knows
that's
that
great.
word. And then Marley's name pops up, and Marley's like, "Oh, can I?" And he reaches over to kind of scan his finger. And you, even though reading gives you trouble, Captain Moxley, you see that Marley has been promoted from like rank 0 to rank 5.
Oh,
And his
wow.
his disbursement is significantly more than 2,000 credits.
Oh my God.
What?
And he's just like staring at it, just like befuddled. He's like, what?
Moxley claps him on the back. Congratulations, Marley.
Oh, thank you.
That's thank you, Captain. I don't know if you saw, but I did
Thank you,
get promoted.
Captain, sir, ma'am, sir. And then the captain of the Warbler just standing there is like, well, I can see you all want to shoot us, but maybe we can put maybe we can sign an armistice or something, and we can get the hell on the road because we got cargo to deliver.
Fair enough, Captain. What was your name again? Hiram.
It's Captain Jax, Hiram Jax.
Hiram Jax.
Do we have an amount of time we need to remove the data cores and upload this bitch? Also, I'm going to need to get some office chairs, some post-it notes.
All the copper
probably-
wiring.
Oh, there was a note
Oh,
that
yeah,
was like
all the copper wiring.
You're supposed to disintegrate all company property besides the data cores.
I'm so sorry. You cannot take those post-it notes, Arthur. You're going to have to put those back. And the paper clips. You know what? Empty your pockets, Arthur. I'm sorry. This is embarrassing for the both of us.
They're not going to use them.
Yeah.
It's just wasteful.
Hey, come on, Commander. Cut him a break.
Captain!
Captain, sorry, it just happened.
Trey, the Blat, steps forward and is like, I could help you organize. Would you like me to help you organize before you blow this place up? Catalog everything? Captain, you don't mind us staying an extra 2 weeks, do you? He's like, no, Trey, go back to the ship. We'll need you on the bridge. And the Vargar woman steps forward and is like, do you have a plan for how you're going to destroy your station here? I'm an engineer, and I could help you if you needed some assistance.
Probably just overload the reactors.
I can do that for you. In fact, I think it would be a little fun. She gives you a nod, Arthur.
I'm Vlasic.
But don't.
Wait a minute.
She shakes your paw and says,
Space is where puppy love happens.
I'm Plurn. Plrrrn, for those who care.
Whoa.
All right.
And gonna have fun reading that note later. What the fuck is that?
I've got Plurn and a little heart. I have no idea what that's going to mean later.
I've circled the name a ton. I drew a heart around it a lot. What am I doing?
All right, so you want to overload the reactor? That's your plan?
Yeah, can I do a check, like a admin check or something, to see like protocol on like why would someone do this to a ship out here rather than
Absolutely.
anything else?
Admin is probably perfect.
Yeah.
Roll admin.
Ooh, that's a 7.
You don't know if there's you don't know of any standard procedure for sunsetting a space station, but you would assume that it would just be like standard corporate policy that it would be way too complicated to retrieve this huge space station, and they don't want company property falling into anybody else's hands. They have no use for it. They'd rather just it be destroyed than taken over by some pirates who are out in the rift.
This would be like I think we'd have some mixed feelings about this maybe, because this has basically been a prison for us, a space prison for 4 years, but it's also the only home that we've known in that time.
Yeah.
So, being
Yeah.
asked to like destroy it has got to be, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that would mean emotionally
also,
for us.
Yeah, I mean, also, did we have previous like directives? Did we know that this was going to be? This is like we're just learning about this right now. We didn't know.
Yeah, this is really sudden. It's just like, oh, you have to blow up your home.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're offering to help us do it.
Yeah.
And the Plurian is like, I was just trying to be friendly. I don't have to. You can blow up your own station.
Thank you.
Matthew, a couple things that Arthur's thinking about right now.
Yeah.
One, I would like to attempt to read the surface thoughts of the captain.
Oh, I forgot you're a psychic.
And two,
Yes.
I would like to make an admin check to figure out why in the hell he just got 5 promotions.
Yeah.
That's an even
That's
better
true.
question.
We skimmed right over
Because
that, didn't we?
I'm thinking spy.
Okay, so I'm flipping to the Scion page, the Psionics page. Read surface thoughts is an
230.
average telepathy check, and it takes 1d times 10 seconds.
Yes.
Very fast.
So give me a roll, and I'll roll the time frame.
Okay, so I have a 1 in telepathy and no pluses for psi. So +1, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so that is a failure. It's a marginal failure, though. I'm looking at the effect table. You get kind of like a feeling, like you get a Counselor Troy empathic impression. So you don't get any thoughts.
I'm too distracted by the female. Well, I'm checking this as I was basically looking for his surface thoughts of what's going through these people's head. Like, is it like, haha, they fell for it, or like what the hell's going on? Also, I also want to make an admin check just because of Marley here.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's resolve the psionic check. So yeah, you get the sense you get from the captain is he just is kind of impatient, like he wants to get on the road. You don't get a sense of any subterfuge or any kind of deception happening. You believe him, like you're based on your impression. You believe he just picked up this job and wants to like get back to his route. And give me the admin check for to understand what happened with Marley.
That's what I'm talking about. 11.
Nice.
You have no idea. As far as this kid goes, like you have no idea. And with 11, I'll give you something. Give me a. You want to try to read Marley's surface thoughts too, or give a. Trying to think of what would be the sense motive equivalent for in Pathfinder.
I'm going to have no plus of this because we just spent 2 side points trying to read the captain, so it'll just be a straight roll.
Got it.
Oh, that's you have a limited pool. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm a terrible scion.
You said that at the beginning. You said you were
You're a
awful.
late in life scion. It's like you came to it so late, you know.
And I rolled a 5.
You know what?
Okay.
Let's just get a Miss Cleo out here right now because basically
Miss Cleo would be such an upgrade.
anything.
The only thing you get from Marley is like a sense of overwhelming befuddlement. Like he seemed like your brief impression is that he seemed as confused as you are. Your admin check, did you roll that? You rolled a 7 on the admin check.
Yeah,
So
11.
You
11 on the
you rolled
11.
11. So what I'll give you is
Anything not sonic, roll great.
your best guess for why, like if you like aside from like him being paid to spy on you, that seems logical. Another course of logic is he's being bought off for some reason.
Huh.
That's
Ooh,
research.
That's big.
Okay.
But he seems visibly befuddled and very confused. And that's as far as you know.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, let's fast forward a little bit.
Let me show you the engine room.
Yeah. So Arthur and Plern adjourn to the engine room, to the reactor core. She helps you rig it that you could overload the core remotely, and then the rest of you, I assume you're going to make your way over to the Warbler.
Well, we're going to pack up our stuff first and take the things we want to take and the animals we want to take. Yeah.
We had everything packed, though.
You were packed. You were waiting for 8 days.
All right.
Oh, yeah. So you carry your things over to the Warbler. Kaz, so the other human is, his name is, he's the astrogator, and his name is Kaz Lasevich.
Kaz is savage.
And he's a typical astrogator. He seems a little bit like he knows that he thinks he knows everything, and you don't know anything about what it is to live in space. You'd be dead without him. So he's like, these are going to be your quarters. Not much to speak of. You're not going to be here very long, but hope they're sufficient. Because the Warbler, as you're walking through it, this ship is not built to offer high passage. This is, let's charitably say, rugged. It's not designed for comfort. There's like thick metal grating on the floors and jury-rigged panels with cables kind of bursting out of them all along the walls. Essential lighting only. And like you notice
random steam coming down the hall.
I love it.
And it looks like this has been heavily patched, and like there's cabling that like runs along all the corridors. It looks like the job has been handed to Plern and maybe Arthur when you're down working on the reactor core with Plern. She basically shares like this is a ship that was designed to be run by a lot more personnel than the captain can afford to pay, and so she's been tasked with basically figuring out a way to automate a lot of this ship's functions, and she spends the whole day running around keeping everything patched and
this
together.
is a huge ship.
It's huge,
like a scout current that the ship that we had in our last show, the last season. It was a scout, right? Do we have a scout?
Far trader. You had a far trader.
Far trader. So yeah, so this is like 40 times
tons.
the size of that ship.
Oh,
yeah, it's enormous.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the boxy sections on the side are cargo, and on top, those are the cargo containers. And the bulk center section has kind of basically been turned into one giant fuel container, so they can make multiple jumps without having to refuel. And the upper deck basically houses the bridge, the galley, the staterooms, and the rest is engine room. It's got all these, basically, it's a haphazardly assembled ship in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But let's say you rig it, and the captain tells you he gets on the he escorts you on. Plern gives him a nod, gives him the thumbs up. Everything's good to go. You extract the data cores. That's pretty easy. I'm not going to make you roll for that. You pack them up, and the captain turns to you and says, "Make yourself comfortable. Mi casa, etc. It's 2 jumps to Neubayern, so we've got 2 weeks together, so we might as well get comfy with one another."
The part that's so heartbreaking is I bet there's so many great floor panels and reactors and other crap this ship could use.
Everything's gotta go as per the orders of Poltech.
It's such a waste, though. It's typical Poltech.
I'm not disagreeing, but it is our orders.
Arthur takes the letter that he left to his replacement off the table.
So heartfelt.
The letter from president to president in the Oval Office.
As is tradition.
So he invites you up to the bridge to watch to make the detonation and watch.
Yeah, we definitely watch it.
The bridge, I will say, also looks cobbled together. The captain has kind of erected himself an elevated con at the center of the room that does not look like it was supposed to be there. It's made from like the scrap metal of a hunk of ground vehicle's chassis. It looks like the chair is kind of like the driver's seat of the car.
Oh my God.
This is so Mad Max.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's the seat of a Geo Metro just hanging out.
Exactly. It's not as badass as the Mad Max cars.
The frame of a Geo Tracker, the most dangerous car ever made.
Well, Event Horizon, Lawrence Fishburne had like the little seat that was on a little gimbal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just watched that.
just watched
Seth.
that.
Like,
That was
the
so
the
good.
group
That's
of
really-
us just watched that.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Weeks ago.
So good.
Even that is nicer than this bridge.
Okay.
The
Oh, and
leather on the chair
their
is
seats were all
fraying.
ripped up. Yeah, the leather's
Yeah.
ripped.
And Plurn has she's maybe she's sentimental. She's rigged together like a button for you to press. She's like, which of you would like to do the honors?
We all look over at Captain.
Yeah.
We could all do it together.
Arthur, would you like to all press the button together?
Yeah.
I think I owe it to my crew as the newly anointed captain. I did get a promotion in case no one heard on the. All right, and I hold out the button and I put my hand over it and I'm like, I guess we'll do like a team huddle. Everybody, put a hand on.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Arthur's there.
Yep. Do the Woe Bundy thing.
Whoa, Bundy.
Yeah.
Look out for you.
And
Whoa,
Marley's
Bundy.
like, wait, can I do it too?
Oh, Marley, I always forget you're
Get
there.
out of here, traitor. No.
Marley, put a hand in too. You're part of the team for 4 years.
So
4 years. 4 years.
All right, to the bucket.
The bucket.
So the warbler
Bucket.
pulls a safe distance away, and then Plurn gives you the nod.
And we all 3, 2, 1, the bucket. 3, 2, 1.
What?
The bucket.
Bucket.
And for like a second, nothing happens. And then all of a sudden you see the like this. Remember, this station is like modular. It's been put together. Things are just kind of stuck on odd ends. It's huge. It's here's a pretty. I'll show you the pretty one that's on the cover of the ref's book. That's a pretty space station. Yours looks like crap. And it just starts to. It just starts to rumble a little bit, and then it's like. And the inside just starts to implode, so it just like starts to break apart, and then the fireball from the reactor, a mushroom cloud, just like goes up in flames. And this home, it's in your home for the past 4 years, just is now nothing, and it's totally silent because it's space vacuum. So you're sitting on the ship and you just watch it, just exactly, no sound, huge fireball.
And then the button's
took
like,
everything.
that was easy.
All right. Do you mind if we get going back to civilization, please? Being out here gives me
Yeah.
the
Please,
creeps.
where are we going?
My stop is in Neubayern. Now, I would say, I don't know what your employment situation is, but if you would like to, we could always use an extra hand, So if you'd like to sign on for this voyage, we are making our way to drop off our cargo in Deneb, world in Deneb. You're welcome to get off at Neubayern, any of the islands along the way. It's totally your prerogative. I have no responsibilities except to get you off my ship by the time I reach you.
Okay. Forgive me if this question has been answered, Captain Jax, but why is your detail so small? It's just.
What's wrong with my detail?
Your ship is not fully stocked with your crew?
I'm sorry. I thought when I came out here to the middle of fucking nowhere to pick you up on that piece of crap, that you'd have maybe you'd had to work for a living in your lives, and not all of you just handed things on a silver platter. But I'm still working for my living. I gotta make do with what I can make do with. Would I love to have a crew of 30 on this ship? Of course I would. Who can afford that, really? I just try to I do my job. I get my cargo from point A to point B.
That's fair, but you're making a lot of assumptions about myself and my crew. And you know what they say about assumptions? You're
What do
being
they
an
say?
asshole, is what they say.
And then, something like that.
Yeah. I think
My
that's
what they-
apologies.
That's what they say. Is that
I'm
what
sorry.
they say?
I reacted defensively. I'm a little bit protective of my ship and my crew, and they work very hard for me, and I don't like to see them demeaned. They run this whole thing by themselves. Really, we do it on our own. So I'm proud of them, and I don't like it when people assume something's wrong with that.
Well, how many jumps will it take us to get to New Bayern?
New Bayern.
Maher. I can't pronounce it. Yeah.
It'll be 2 jumps. 2 jumps.
2 jumps.
Spectacular.
We got 2 weeks here. And why don't I apologize. When we get underway, we'll come down and I'll cook your dinner myself, and maybe we can get to know each other a little better.
Okay.
Spectacular.
Okay. Yeah,
Much
that sounds
obliged.
Great.
Yeah.
You don't have cockroaches, do you? Any?
Cockroaches.
Yeah.
good. Oh no.
Just asking. I mean, it's the one thing I've been wanting the last 4 years. Is a big bowl fried spiced cockroaches.
Hey Trey, and the pilot at the pilot station. There's a little all I can think of is the tent in ET, just like the plastic tent around it, because Trey needs to keep it nice and humid at her station.
Oh yeah.
It's like just clear plastic. She looks back. She's like, do we have any cockroaches down in the I don't know, down the belly of the ship somewhere? I don't know. I mean, we picked up any kind of insect life? She's like, I don't know. I have organized every life form that's appeared on the ship and every launch. I'll look.
Does Planet have any Kranga?
Do you ask her?
Yeah.
She looks at you. She looks at you like, of course I don't. Why would I have that on a ship? And then she gives you a little wink.
Ooh.
And maybe she pulls you aside and she goes, I do have Kranga, but I have to eat it somewhere where they can't smell it, because all these humans, and especially Trey, they have their sense of smell. It's just, they hate it. For some reason, they hate Kranga.
I would love, all I have wanted for 4 years is some Kranga.
And she goes, all right. Once we get underway, once the jump gets underway, just meet me at the starboard cargo bay.
You got it. Oh, well, we ready to go?
All right, yeah. So the captain sends you back to your staterooms to strap in, and then Trey maneuvers the big lumbering ship, the Warbler, out a ways, just to make sure we're not near any planetary bodies. And you hear the hum of the maneuver drive begin to diminish. And over the intercom, the captain's voice comes on, all hands prepare for jump. And then the lights begin to dim. They dim so much that the entire ship basically goes dark and starts to shake.
Yeah,
and
this whole thing is making me very nervous.
Oh boy.
Pug, just like this understaffed ship of this size is just like very nerve-wracking.
And then they're like, and you enter jump space.
Oh, I love it.
And we'll see you next week.
What is going to happen? This is not what I thought the story was going to be. I thought we'd be on the...
Me neither.
Yeah, I thought it'd be
worried.
like a toys
I was
in
very
the
sure of
attic.
myself.
Toys in the attic on the station.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. That'd be something like that, or the thing, or whatever. This is awesome. This is great. I'm excited to see what.
I'm excited too. I'm nervous.
Me too.
You fooled me,
I'm
Jerry.
gonna get Kranga.
What is Kranga?
He's gonna get some Kranga. I'm gonna get some.
It
What
is
is
a type
Kranga?
of Vargar snack food that I made up, which is all I've wanted for the past 4 years. That's like overcooked pepperonis off of a frozen pizza. That's kind of how I described it. They're like chips. And Vargars just love them, and humans think they're disgusting.
That sounds so good.
Yeah,
I know, right?
burger treats. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's essentially cat dog treats.
Good night, everybody.
Good
I'm
night.
gonna go eat some Kranga.
Yeah, me too.